Y empiezo grabación también. Ok. Voy a mirar, como siempre, que te amos. Hombre. Ahí estamos, mira. Well, hello everyone. This is the third episode of this podcast. This is going to be of the Confederacy of Dunces podcast. In this third and final episode, we're going to talk about Coser y Cantar. Coser y Cantar is compared with, contrasted, better than compared, contrasted with the last two episodes. This is going to be about, a drama play instead of, a regular novel, which we have been discussing until this point. This drama play is about it's a dialogue, it's a conversation, well, more than a conversation or a dialogue, it's a discussion,
Yeah.
an argument between two characters, she and Ella. Until we figure that it is the two consciousness of the same person. So what we have here is like the inner dialogue, the inner disjunctive, the inner discussion of one character. It's their binarism, and the opposed feelings that she's feeling. The Ella part represents her Latino heritage, and the she part represents her development and how and her new mindset now that she's an American citizen. Yeah, what do you guys have to say about this particular one? Sylvia, I believe that you have like low battery, so you may comment on this first.
Yes. Well, I find very interesting this book that one person represents two cultures that are so contrast. From a feminist point of view, well, literary criticism, it's very interesting how one woman um, tries to navigate into what it means to be a Latino woman and an American woman,
Mhm.
because usually women have like some standards or stereotypes, but it differs according to the different cultures. And I think it's a dialogue that really navigates those stereotypes.
Mhm. Well,
Yeah.
Also,
as you sorry, it is, but as you mentioned, those characters, those two characters, Ella and she, they feel more like a stereotype, And as you mentioned, that women are recluded or are forced to follow like some stereotypes that variate from one country to another. Uh, do you find it like from a feminist perspective, like how no matter where women live or where they are from, they have to face these systematic oppression and this patriarchal perspective of how they should be, or how they should be perceived or presented in society. I don't know.
Of course, because I think every culture has a patriarchal ideology or like
Roots.
roots
Yeah.
yeah.
roots that we are trying to deconstruct, but they are still there. It affects women and also men, but
Mhm.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, like no matter where you're from, or what your country is or where you live, it's like you cannot escape, this patriarchal society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree completely. Yeah, maybe some cultures have a more accentuated stereotypes on women or
Mm-hmm.
more uh, rigid ones, but yeah, in every culture, we have to like fit into some stereotypes. Yeah,
Yeah,
or we
yeah,
are forced to. Yeah.
yeah. Sexism is
Mm.
spread worldwide.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
Well,
yes, it
going.
is. Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say that that's heavily related to my approach to the anti-racist point of view, to the anti-racist perspective. Sorry, my battery. Yeah. So, as I was saying, it has a lot to do with identity. And identity is defined by the Cambridge Dictionary as the fact of being or feeling that you are a particular type of person and the qualities that make you a certain person different from others. Well, you may think what has to do this with. Well, uh, although the like ella and she identities are both based on stereotypes, as Andres said. This stereotypification of women is used to reinforce to make the contrast to make more contrast between them both. For example, on one hand we have ella, who speaks mostly in Spanish and listens to Spanish music like La Linda Guajira, sorry. Um, it's very chaotic, it's organized, it's whatever she wants, don't give a F about gym or being fit or whatever. In contraposition, on the other hand, we have she. She fits in the American idea of how women should be, this cosmopolitan idea of women, which speaks mostly in English, listens to American music like Barbra Streisand. It's on a diet, cares about what she eats, tries to eat as clean as possible, goes to the gym, um, speaks like calmly, quietly, is very organized. Um, yeah, this stereotypic vision of these two cultures. I think that it's not to make fun of them or to ridiculize them. It's just to make emphasis in the idea of the contrast, on the conflict, on the clash of identities. Because well, she's not Mexican, she's not Latina enough for Latinos, but she's also um, not American enough for Americans. She's like in the middle of nowhere, just fighting for well, for looking for her identity in order to achieve um, like an understanding of who she is, what she wants, of her identity. Yeah, she's like fighting between her two identities in order to reach to acknowledge her real one, or maybe it's a mix of them both, or yeah.
Yeah, I was about to comment on that too, about the concept of identity. It's also linked with white psychiatry and all this post-colonial literature in which it relates to this feeling of uneasiness and unrestness with non-belonging to any place in particular. Like, yeah, you're originally from a Latin American country, but you've spent like so many time in the United States, and in particular, I believe that she was living in New York. So the longer she spends on New York, like the less Latina she gets.
Yeah,
But at the same
yeah,
time, she's not like complete. The she part is not completely American either. The ella part is, I mean, well, not the A and she part. I'm talking about like the character behind those consciousness. The that character is like no is the one that does not belong in any part, because she has like these two very heavy, very opposed personalities constantly arguing inside her mind. Like, you may think that she's actually like a schizophrenic person, or a person with multiple
yeah,
personality disorder, but in reality, what we have here, more than just the more than underlying more than diving deep into the the mental illnesses or things like that. It is an example. It is a rhetorical figure to exemplify and to illustrate this heavy division between the character. This constant argument between the two parts inside of her. This postmodernist fragmentation of her own character into two very opposed and different halves that they are constantly arguing, and each and one of them like has its own characteristics, as you it is said. Like the part is like she talks in Spanish and she likes boleros, and it's more focused in the past and in melancholic feelings, while at the same time she part is she likes Barbra Streisand and pop music, and she talks in English, and it's more focused in the here and now, as as she's obviously now living in the United States, and is
she's nice.
that part of that consciousness is more focused on the present, while the part is more focused on the past. But as I mentioned in the last episode, this could also be like this master-slave dialectic, this constant discussion, this constant clash of self-consciousness, trying to, establish dominance one from the other. But what I truly believe that is the true master behind this scheme is the society itself, that kind of conditions her to act in a determined, in a very particular way, because she fears that she's not going to belong in that society if she doesn't, behave in a very, very accordingly to the standards of the country. And so the real slave in this story is the character behind, the character that is like the addition of she and ella. This figurative character, that we cannot get to see, as a whole character, but we explore her as this division, this constant discussion. But that character, that whole character, is the one that is going to be like the slave in this materialistic discussion, this materialistic opposition, this clash, between self-consciousness. I really, I don't know how to conclude that point, but the master is the society, and the slave is the character as a whole. Sylvia, are you still there? Because I think that we kind of lost her, and I don't think I can go to Discord without breaking anything in the streaming. Oh shit! I think that we kind of lost Sylvia in there. So well, maybe we can carry out the rest of this analysis by ourselves. So kind of.
Yeah,
sorry everyone, but Sylvia had like 5% battery in her phone when we started this podcast, and she tried to use her laptop, but her microphone wasn't working, and when we started doing streamings on Twitch, we thought that this was going to be like quite a lot easier. I thought this was going to be a lot easier because doing it on Twitch was kind of like my idea. So when you see Alex El Capo, you think that it's going to be quite a lot easier. But turns out that no, Twitch is one hell of an application.
In the report we will talk about the technical problems that we have been facing since we started working on this, that were quite a lot, and for me the worst part.
The fact that we are repeating those podcasts, these episodes, is just example enough, is illustrative enough of the the technical difficulties that we underwent. Sylvia is officially out of the picture, so I'm going to take her space in Discord. Sorry, I was just changing the camera. So as we were saying, this dichotomy, between the two parts of the whole character of Coser y Cantar. Do you have like anything more to add, or any final comments, any final thoughts, anything
Oh,
that you missed?
yeah, I will just to wrap up would say that maybe from an anti-racist point of view, and from an anti-racist approach, and also maybe from Sylvia feminist approach,
Mhm,
the main I don't know, the main concept that is that can be, I don't know how to say it, that can be analyzed from this work is the concept of identity. How what is identity, like the definition of the concept, how does it affect us, the clashes, the conflicts that come with it, um, and yeah, overall the dilemma that immigrants
mhm,
experiment every day with who they are, who they were, who they want to be, and yeah, all this conflict that they experiment in their daily lives, not only as they are being constantly judged and constantly um, kind of criticized or constantly being watched by
mhm,
the society, but also by themselves in their head,
mhm.
in which, well, as I think I'm not an immigrant, so I can never think really of this, but
Yeah,
yeah, I think that,
relate, empirically relate to these,
yeah, I can,
these feelings. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
but I think that dialogues like this between yeah and she may occur every day um, in immigrants in immigrants' minds,
Mhm.
just like that, yeah, dialogue like this, conflicts and clashes and fights with who they are, who they were, and yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And one thing that I want to highlight, just maybe as a conclusion, is this. We have analyzed three literary works who had like very interesting, structures and every different narratives.
yeah,
Even though the first two were both novels, each one of them had like mm, some different techniques, very subversive techniques, very innovative, experimental even features
yeah,
in their structure. With Frankenstein letters and poetry and different styles embedded
yeah,
into the narrative, with the fragmentation of the different perspectives in the narration of White Sagacity Sea, and the dream and the interpretation of the dreams and things like that, or the exploration of the character's psyche by
yeah,
the interpretation of dreams. But in this one, I find it quite interesting how you can explain or illustrate such a complex confrontation, such a complex situation happening inside the mind of a character, with giving each of those binary opposites, giving it a voice, and just
yeah,
let them talk, let them speak, let them argue. And the whole book is, well, you've read it. It's a
yeah,
whole is an argument from start to end. It's not like there's no a peaceful moment. There's not like this point when they agree on someone or on something. They just agree that they are bad. I mean, that they are not in the best moment, that they are not,
yeah.
they're not happy,
They
but
coexist by the, yeah, yeah. It's a really very interesting and a really innovative idea. Yeah, fine.
okay, so well, I think that with Sylvia gone, this is like we have reached the final part of this podcast. So well, I just want to say that I was looking at the Twitch podcast from my phone, and we officially have like 6 views in in the first chapter. So yeah, even better than the last version that we done. So yeah, we're doing
We have
numbers.
improved something.
Yeah, what a successful trip
Improved,
this has been. Yeah.
yeah, partly.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching this.
What?
And I hope some of you have learned something. These episodes are going to keep uploaded in Twitch for like at least a month or two. I think that's how long the platform allows past broadcasts to be still visible and to be uploaded on the platform. And I don't know. That's it for our end. And goodbye, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. Vale.